All right. Good morning, everyone. Egon Tracy is here again to analyze US 30, and as you all know, the reason we are doing this is to predict the next market movement, a movement that could last up to 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, even a year. So we're going to start by doing the normal introduction. This is Egon Trader Stock, and this is volume 4. We're going to be analyzing US 30 this morning, and we're going to be using four technical tools that I preach. One, we're going to be making use of the price action, that is allowing the chart to communicate to us what it is doing, that is gathering informations by just looking at the charts, by interpreting what price action is telling us. That is the first technical indicator. The second technical indicator is plotting our levels, that is our support and our resistance at major areas of rejection. We do not just plot them randomly. We plot our support and resistance at major levels, major areas of rejections. Then three, we're going to be making use of trend lines. Trend lines. What is the use of this trend line? You use this trend line to identify the current market movement. After using price action to know the overall flow of the river, you're going to be using trend line to identify the current flow of the river. Are we together now? Then four, we're going to be making use of Fibonacci. All right. Having said all that, I'm going to delete all the levels on my chart now, and we are going to start from the scratch, because I want everybody to follow me, and I want all of us to understand how this is done. Okay, I'm going to delete all my levels now. And we will start from the scratch. All right. As I said earlier, this is US 30, and this is volume 4, Egon Trader Stock, volume 4, US 30. I'm going to be analyzing it. There are two ways when we are analyzing. There are two ways. We have market analysis and then market execution. Market analysis is when we are able to analyze the market, like I said earlier, and then tell us the next possible movement that the market is about to do. And then market execution is where we place our trades. In volume 1, we analyzed GBP card that's not yet formed. Volume 2, we analyzed Euro USD. Volume 3, we analyzed NZD USD. All these three pairs are still as not formed yet. Yes. So we're going to be analyzing US 30 now, and to look at what is about to happen to it, and then that is pretty much it. So like I've said, I've deleted all my levels and we're going to start again. So we are going to be making use of the 3 months time frame, using all the four technical indicators that I made mention of earlier: price action, plotting our levels, that's support and resistance. Number four, making use of the trend line. Sorry, number three, making use of the trend line, and then number four, making use of Fibonacci. So we're going to be making use of all four technical tools to analyze, to do market analysis. Are we together now? All right. So let us interpret price action now. US 30 was launched back in July 2014, and it has been awesome. Why do I say that? We would see that the US 30 is a trending market. We have a bullish trending market, we have a bearish trending market. But in the case of US 30, we could see that this is a bullish trending market because we can see that since it has been launched in the year 2014, we could see a low, we could see a high, right? We could see a higher low, we could see a higher high, we could see a lower low. This low is lower than this previous low, so this is considered to be a lower low. Then we could see a high again. This high right here is higher than this high, so this is considered to be a higher high. This is a higher low. This is a higher high. Are we together now? Yes. This means that US 30 is a trending market, a bullish trending market. Now that we have formed a higher high, we all know, we all know, Ego Trader Stock, we all know that the next thing that we are about to see and that should likely happen is to have a lower low, right? A low, a high, a higher low, higher low, higher high. There was a higher low here, right? But we could see that it's a liquidity. When I move to the monthly time frame, you're going to see it clearly. Can you see this? You can see that this is a higher low. We are about to have another higher high, right? Hmm. This is going to be very, very interesting. Let me go back to the 3 months time frame. Now, are we getting what I'm trying to say now? This is a low, a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We are about to have another higher high, right? This means that the US 30 pair, the US 30 instrument, it is a bullish momentum. Now, are you seeing how we are using price action to interpret what the market is telling us? This means that the US 30 is a bullish momentum. This means that the US 30 is going to the upside. Now that I have been able to use price action, I've been able to derive information, outsource information from price action, and it is telling me that the US 30 is going upside. This means that all that I'll be thinking about is buy, buy, because I've been able to derive information from the price from using price action, and it has told me that the US 30 is going to the upside. Is going to the upside. So now we're going to move to the second technical tools that I use and that I will be preaching, which is called plotting our levels. Right? Now I'm going to be making use of zones. I won't be making use of a line because line cannot accommodate everything that I needed to cater for. Does this works? I think I'm going to be making use of line here because I do not want to make my charts a bit messy, but I would like to use zone. Now, can you see the reason why I said I can't use line? You can see that it's only catered for this guy. It didn't cater for this guy. It didn't touch it at all. So this is the reason why I said I do not make use of line. I make use of zones. So having said that, I'm going to delete all this, and then we're going to pick rectangular tool. That is the tool we are going to be making use to plot our levels at major areas of rejection. Now there's a rejection here, there's a reaction here. Actually, that was not the place I wanted to pick. I'll have to drag this to this point. This is what I was talking about. Yes, exactly. So yes, this is an area of rejection. We can see that market reacted here. It's reacted here in the future. Are we seeing that? So I'm just going to clone this and then I'm going to drag it. There's another area of rejection I'm seeing. Voila. Right. Here's another one. You could see how my chart is looking neat and nice. So I have plotted my levels. That is pretty much it. I've plotted my levels. I've plotted my levels. I've plotted it. So the next thing for us to do now, we have gathered the information. We can see that we are still on the 3 months time frame, and we have gathered so much information. We have been able to predict the next movement of the market. Have been able to predict what is about to do next, and that is a buy scenario. And there is one more thing I'd like to do. Now I'm going to move from the 3 months time frame to go to the monthly time frame to gather more informations. Now let us move to the monthly time frame. We can see that our levels are still neatly plotted. Just have to make some little adjustments. We can see that our levels are still neatly plotted, right? Now they are still neatly plotted. A low, a high, a higher low, higher low, higher low. We are about to have another higher high. Now, this is where it gets interesting. If US 30 wants to make a higher high, at least it will have to come to this zone first. Now it could get here, turn back, or get here or push further to the upside, right? And there's another information I'm able to derive from the monthly time frame, from the 1 month time frame on US 30, and that is we could see that last month we had a bullish engulfing candlestick. Are we seeing this? This is telling me that at least for the next couple of months, either 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, US 30 is likely as 100% assurance that it is going to give us more bullish momentums. You're going to have more bullish momentums, right? Okay. And it could get here, turn back, or it could get here, push to the upside. Now we're going to be moving to the third technical tools that I use, that I preach, which is using trend lines to identify the current flow of the river, right? We know that the overall flow of the river for US 30 is a buy, a bullish trend, right? For the next couple of months. Now we are going to, can you see, now let me pause a bit. Can you see how I am using these technical tools and how they are aligning with one another? The information I was able to get from price action tells me that US 30 is going to the upside, right? The information I'm able to get using plotting my levels, plotting my support and resistance also tells me that the US 30 is buying, right? Are you seeing how there's a relationship between all these things? Now I'm going to be using trend line now as well to get information. That is, I'll be using trend line to identify the current flow of the river. Now, there are many times that there are many times that if we are able to identify our overall trend, overall or the overall flow of the river, that the current flow of the river might negate the overall flow of the river. What I'm trying to say is that there are many times that the overall flow of the river might be bullish, right? But the current flow of the river might be bearish. Hmm? Now, what do I mean by that? We can see that. Now, let me use this as an example. We can see that this is an impulsive leg to the upside, a correction, impulsive leg, correction, impulsive leg, correction, right? Right? This means that there are many times that we can see a bearish trend in a bullish trend. Do you understand at all? Okay, let us move forward. Now I'm going to be making use of the trend line to identify the current flow of the river, and I'm going to be picking it from this zone right about here, and then the first drop. Can you see that? Nice, 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 nice. You could see that here's the first touch, the second touch, third, fourth. And there's a principle of price action that we have that is universal. And that principle of price action that is universal is that the third touch of the trend line always does the trick. That is, the third touch of the trend line pushes the market further. It pushes it to the furthest. I mean, to the farthest, right? Now I'm going to delete this since I know that this trend line as well is also aligning with the overall flow of the river, which is bullish. I'm going to be deleting this. Now I'm going to go to the weekly time frame to gather more information. And on the weekly time frame, I think I'm seeing something that is a bit interesting. I could see a double top here. I could see a neckline here. I could see a double top. I could see a neckline. Now we all know Egon Trader stock. We know that when we know that we know this, and that is we know that price. We know that chart patterns, because this is a chart pattern that has formed on the weekly time frame. I check for chart patterns on monthly time frames and weekly time frames. Now on monthly time frame, we were unable to see any chart pattern form, but on the weekly time frame, we could see a chart pattern form, which is a double top, and we could see the neckline right about here, and we could see that this neckline has been taken out. This neckline has been taken out. It broke to the downside. It gave us a lower low. It's pushing up to give us a higher high. Now we could see that this neckline has been taken out. So what does this tell us? What does this tell us? Um, Here's what I'm going to do. I could see something lining up here. I could see, and this is the time whereby we are very, very realistic, and this is the time that we react to what we see and not predict. Are you together now? Now we're going to be responsive to the markets now, not predict. I'm able to see something that is lining up here nicely. Could see a trend line. Using a trend line, remember using a trend line to identify the current flow of the river. I could see that this trend line is still aligning to the upside, to the upside, to the upside, and I could see something as well forming nicely. I could see, let me make use of my Fibonacci. I could see that my Fibonacci as well is still telling me that you, Egon, is still telling me that US 30 is still buying. US 30 is still buying. Hmm. Still telling me that US 30, that the U calm down. US 30 is still buying. This chart pattern that has formed there has been invalidated. Yes, it has been invalidated. Why do I say that? When we go back to the monthly time frame, we'll see something interesting. They'll see that last month closed at a bullish engulfing candlestick. So this chart pattern that formed on the weekly time frame is null and void. Easy. Easy. It is null and void. This is telling me that the US 30 is still very much bullish. It's still very much bullish. It's going to give us a higher high. It's going to give us a higher high, because we will see this using our Fibonacci. This is A, B, C happened at 61.8% retracement. D is about to happen here, D1, D2. Let me pause this and continue in the next video.